Okay, so I had a great conversation with Susanna, and I think Pancho was there, but I'm not sure. And this was right after I don't know when it was, a year, 2 years later, whatever, after divorce. And she mentioned something to me, which is interesting because you cut her off as great of a friend as she was to our family and to you. You cut her off. You cut her off because she spoke the truth. When you told her what happened at your father's house and what your father, that bastard, did, and she told you that you were 100% wrong in what you did. I know I'm not using the exact words, but she let you know that you should have walked out with your husband, that it's my wife, and so on. And that how you could do that to your family. You left. You know what? And I saw her, she told me she never saw you again. You never called her again. See, now, I don't know. I'm curious. Since the Sabillons are getting this, I'm curious. Did they tell you the same thing? Or did Yoli, which is interesting about Yoli, but did Yoli just put her arms around you and, oh, dear Marisol? I'm curious. But like I say, every person getting this and every person that spoke evil against our marriage, against me, who spoke one word against it, believe me when I tell you that they will be judged for that word, whatever it was they said. No question about it. None. Zero. Oh, that reminds me. I'm trying to remember the name of that girl, the lady, that, for example, the lies that came through our marriage is unbelievable. I cannot remember her name. I can remember her face. We used to go there to her house off of, I don't know, what was it, 81st Street or whatever. We'd go there on Friday nights, and some pastors from down from would come and speak at her house, and we'd have a good time at the house and fellowship and all that. Roberto and Yoli would come, and a few others would come from the Spanish ministry and all that. I cannot remember. She sells she does mortgages and all that. And it was interesting because you had accused me, not told me, that I had made advances, that she had told you that I had made advances towards her, and which was a blatant lie. Let me tell you something. I never, ever, ever, and I can say this 100%, never, ever made an advance at another woman, to another woman, during our marriage. Never. Never. But anyway, you had accused me that she had told you that. Well, it's interesting. In one of my trips to Tulsa, I went looking for her. I went to where she had worked and this, and finally I went to her house, and I still remembered the security code, which was 2000, to get into that neighborhood. And I got in, and I knocked on her door. And she was remarried. Congratulated her on that and all that. And I said, I've come here because of what's happened in relation to my marriage, and because of what my wife said that you accused me of, and I need to speak against it. She said, and her husband was out there beside her. She said, I don't know what you're talking about, James. I said, my wife told me that you told her that I had made advances towards you. She said, James, I never, ever said that. Your wife lied. I'll be frank with you. I was so glad to hear that, because I always saw her as a pretty decent woman, honest and all that. But then at the same time, when I look at the whole picture today, why in the world did I ever believe you? Well, and naturally, well, with everything going on, it was anyway, unbelievable, unbelievable how you would make up lies such as that. Unbelievable. But anyway, I know that these videos are being done for my children. Let me tell you, I don't think they're being done for you, but at the same time, maybe they are. I firmly believe one thing. I mentioned to you, you're never going to get married again, and I'm going to tell you why. The sexual problems that you have, whereby your husband can't touch you, you are 100% frigid. And people say, well, how can she be frigid? You had 3 children. I said, let me tell you, it's called getting in and getting out. It's that simple. You don't have to have sex for 3 hours. It doesn't take sex 3 hours in order for you to have a child. You can go in and you can go out, and boom. And one thing that I'll admit, and you and I have both said it, you are a very fertile woman when it comes to that. I mean, boom, and you're pregnant. But so anyway, so the fact that we had 3 children does not, under any circumstances, say that we had a great sex life under any circumstances. And Michael Hensdale, your first husband, is proof of that as well. Because as you told me yourself, and you were married for 7 years, and in the first 3.5 years of your marriage, you were still a virgin. You wouldn't let him touch you. Unbelievable. But anyway, so why do I believe? Because when I described you to Carmen Gill after I started going to therapy, this is really what, because, you wanted me to go to therapy. It was always me. I'm the one with the problems and all this. I mean, I remember when we were in court, and it blew me away. You made the statement in the court that you were the most perfect wife, that you never, ever, in all the years of our marriage, done one thing wrong. I remember sitting in that chair. I was ready to fall off of it. I could not believe that I was hearing that lie. Unbelievable. But anyway, there's so many lies in that courtroom. It began with a lie. It ended with a lie. Your life will end in a lie. And you'll be judged in a lie, is the way that I see it. That's your decision, not mine. Anyway, so Suzanne told me that. Suzanne, that she told you were dead wrong. I wonder how many people told you that you were wrong. What about the Savillons? Did they tell you you were wrong? I doubt it. I'll be frank with you. And I know they're listening, Yoli, Roberto. I doubt it seriously. Seriously. That you told Marisol that she was wrong. Anyway, go from there. All right, so anyway, so I described to Carmen Gill when I went to therapy, okay, counseling, whatever you want to call it, but what I did was this is how I handled her, because I knew that she was always had something. Her and I didn't click. We crashed because I would tell it the way that it was. I would let her know, and she did not like that. Carmen Gill, what she wants is yes people. She doesn't want anybody to tell her anything that can be critical or anything that can really help the ministry if it points out her weaknesses, which are humongous. And so when I went to see her, I said to her that I had run into a friend, and I had told him that I was going to come and see you, and that this friend had asked me to do him a favor. And so I said, okay. And I'll continue it here in the next